Drones have become increasingly popular since the early 2010s as a way for photographers, videographers, and enthusiasts to casually capture photos and videos. However, in recent years they've become much more widely available, miniaturized, and have increased in visual quality. These advancements have caused drones to become more problematic in the public eye due to concerns about privacy. Both at the federal and state level, drones have become more widely regulated, but there are still many who are not satisfied with the level of regulations that have been enforced.
Ideas is that we're going to add more inspectors. That's only one part of this and one component to what's necessary.
While the advantages of drone journalism are continuously emerging, there are still critical regulatory and legal issues to address in this field of work. Drones are creating powerful storytelling moments and opportunities for multispectral imagery, enhancing the capabilities of journalists. Journalists are required to obtain the Part 107 drone pilot license through participating in hands-on drone flight training to familiarize themselves with drone journalism ethics and legal policies.
About who's allowed to officially operate drones, right? And they basically take this from the standpoint of just in the same way a pilot has to have this awareness that he, she, or they are responsible for the lives of the people both in the air but also the people on the ground, right? That's a huge weight that should constantly be at the forefront of any pilot's mind. So with that said, not everyone is getting an FAA approval, right? So they're not considering these important things.
Drones provide journalists with unique video content, widening the scope of eyewitness accounts, enabling easy access and panoramic views of places that are too difficult or too dangerous for human coverage, as well as clear audio and video recordings at night. Some other advantages presented by the use of drones include flexibility, easy maneuverability, safety, cost benefits, and perks of their technological advancements.
While drones do provide amazing opportunities for reporting and video gathering to benefit the general public, they do still act as a looming threat. The question on everyone's mind, who is watching me and why? One such example of the invasion of privacy comes with the adoption of drone use by the paparazzi. Paparazzi are always looking for ways to get the best shots of celebrities, and drones provide them the perfect opportunity to get to places they normally would never have access to. However, there's only so much detail a drone can obtain from an aerial view, so their use has also evolved in a rather unsettling way, following and learning the day-to-day schedules of celebrities and their families.
Drones can afford us this amazing advancement to sort of see things without us having to put us in dangerous situations. But I think in instances celebrity coverage, instances of non-FAA approved drone operation, issues where people who haven't gone to journalism school and have never taken an ethics course before, right, are also able to operate these things, right? They're easy for people to get their hands on.
The use of drones is beginning to be adopted by police as well. In the eyes of police, the answer is simple. Drones are cheap, accessible, and they are much quieter than helicopters. The public seems to understand this reasoning as well. However, that has not calmed the paranoia of unregulated use of drones by the police. Police have reassured that their drone use is only on a case-by-case basis rather than 24/7 surveillance. Nonetheless, there is currently no national framework governing the use of drones by police.
As you notice, suspect stops because he's looking at the police helicopter as it's orbiting. What he doesn't notice is the police drone right above him.
Legislation pertaining to drone use has been developing in recent years due to more sophisticated drone technology making them more widely available for recreational use. Drones are rarely regulated on the state level and are mainly regulated by the FAA. Drone laws also vary from state to state. In the United States, regardless of where you might live, to fly a drone commercially requires completing the FAA's Part 107 Small Unmanned Aircraft System rule to obtain a remote pilot certificate. To fly a drone recreationally requires the drone to weigh less than 55 pounds and follows certain regulations about flying near no-fly zones as well as flight distance and height.
This 5-minute answer can be reduced to a 30-second sound clip for me to just say, it's complicated. It's really a complicated issue that I think we're trying to work through right now because, again, the technology I think has moved a little bit further past where the legislation currently exists.
Due to the popularity of drones for both commercial and recreational use, regulations for them are necessary just as they are for other technologies. Besides the rules enacted by the FAA, journalists especially need to regulate themselves ethically. This not only applies to what they shoot, but how they go about getting their footage and at what lengths they go to grab it.
And experts warn the law hasn't caught up. Please tell me this is illegal. I mean, it has to be.
So spying is definitely illegal, whether you're a peeping Tom using a telescope or a drone.
Is it trespassing?
Not necessarily.
Even though the drone is on my property, it's not necessarily trespassing.
It depends on how high up it is, what state you're in. It's tough to call it trespassing.
Talking about ethical questions to consider, Matt Waite, a professor of journalism and mass communications at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and founder of the Drone Journalism Lab, says that many ethical questions about drones have already been applied to prior technology, such as helicopters and telephoto lenses. We keep asking ourselves, is this a new ethical problem or an old ethical problem with new technology? We have a responsibility to be very careful for a lot of reasons. I don't want anything that would prevent journalists in the future from using these for a useful purpose. However, regarding the current rules in place by the FAA, Matthew Schroyer, the founder of the Professional Society of Drone Journalists, argues that all laws are not ethical. There has to be some area for us to operate. At the same time, I think people might find themselves in a moral quandary. Something important is happening, and I can't get it without using one of these drones.